What's up, Go enthusiasts, and welcome to the final game of Blood and Tears. This is a 10-game match between Huang Longshe and his student Zhu Jingyu, who was supposedly 2 stones away from Huang Longshe, the strongest player in the land. That's why his title is Ershao. But Huang Longshe said, "I'm better than that. I can give you 3 stones." So far, the match hasn't gone that well for him. He's won 3 games, but lost 6. So, in fact, the Jubango is already lost. Of course, they didn't call it a Jubango in ancient China. But they still play the final game. Huang Longshe playing for honor. He plays this approach, and Zhu Jingyu plays 5-3, and he plays the 5-3 approach. Yeah, we've been over how I don't really like this kind of opening. Huang Longshe likes these jumping moves. He thinks that they can gain him initiative throughout the game. I do not like these jumping moves. In particular, I hate allowing black into the corner like this. This is clearly a good opening for black, in my opinion, when this has all played out as it has so far. Wei has very little room to actually show his initiative, and black is just limiting that room further by playing on the bottom side. Playing this 2 space even means that white can be under attack. So white needs to defend, and then black can defend his corner as well. Yeah, Zhu Jingyu is outplaying Huang Longshe in the beginning of this game. And he just continues. He just jumps up here. He says, hey, you still have a weak group on the top and on the right. And Huang Longshe defends his group on the top. Zhu Jingyu just takes his corner. He doesn't have to attack the right. There's no reason to start a fight. He's winning. And Huang Longshe wants to start fights. Zhu Jingyu pincer. I mean, frankly, from here, Zhu Jingyu has all the corners, and Huang Longshe has almost no side control. So the game is like... I mean, if I were playing... I would just resign when I had 3 stones handicap. I can't give Zhu Jingyu 3 stones handicap. But this is very bad, in my opinion. Huang Longshe, instead of resigning, it should be silly, he fights somehow. And he fights pretty nicely with this second line move. He's asking Zhu Jingyu, do you want to push on top or do you want to block and take the smaller base? And pushing on top is correct, I think. So Zhu Jingyu does that. And then Huang Longshe says, well, then I can push in here. And don't you have some little weaknesses here, little weaknesses there? And Zhu Jingyu says, all right, then I'll trade. I don't want to just have to answer too passively here, get a super small base. I'm going to take my own good result and push all the way through here. But it means that Huang Longshe can play this Hane and eat that 1 stone. So, I mean, this is a good fight by Huang Longshe. That was really cleanly done to try to harass basically the very limited weaknesses that Zhu Jingyu had. If he just sort of asked for better access to them or like a better shape, he could slowly increase his power towards them, and it worked perfectly. So Zhu Jingyu exchanges this cut and extends here, very natural. And the plan in general, Zhu Jingyu's idea, okay, wait, you can have the bottom side. I have the whole center control. Look at this massive wall. How are you going to fight against me there? That's so strong. Here I am. Yeah, Huang Longshe, he has to do something like this. I mean, you have to do something very harsh in this game because, black had a really good opening and he didn't lose that much with this bottom side sequence. So, if anything, the advantage increased from the initial 3 stones no komi handicap, which is already immense. So, after this, if I were playing black, I would play like somewhat conservatively, just get a strong attack and be happy. But Zhu Jingyu is more active than me. He plays like this. It's not a bad thing to be more active than me like that. But it does allow this Hane, and I have a feeling that Zhu Jingyu didn't actually calculate it. Because he Ataris here, and then when Huang Longshe does this, he Ataris here as if he didn't realize that his ladder does not work. I don't really get what happened here. But this was very stupid by Zhu Jingyu, ultimately, when he has to connect. The ladder didn't work. He couldn't capture those 3 stones. So it just ends up being like... white just gets a free route in for no reason. There was no reason that black had to attach and let white Hane and get this route. But for whatever reason, black tried to cut and capture that 1 stone that Huang Longshe had Haned through with, and then utterly failed, and has to fall back. So Huang Longshe just gets the turn, and he can save those 3 stones now, so Zhu Jingyu takes a more passive approach. He says, alright, fine. At least I can take this shape point. So now I can bully your stone on the bottom side. And Wang Longshi says, alright, that's fine, you can bully that, I will take what I deserve here, I extend, take care of the 3 stones that I know I can save, continue to put some pressure on you, and Zhu Xingyu just answers here. The idea being, if Zhu Xingyu would just play some other big move, this attach would be annoying. That splits black from the bottom side and Tengen. So Zhu Xingyu is like, oh, I should be not split. I should make sure I'm connected here. But this shape is so ugly that it cannot be the right way to play here. And it allowed Huang Longshi to do this really interesting idea now of cut. So the idea of cut is, first of all, we were never going to fight very hard in this area. When black has that like iron pillar right there, it made it really, really restricted. So instead of fighting very hard in like normal ways, we're going to fight very hard for a sharp thing. So exchanging this right now, it actually makes it so that these black stones on the bottom are dependent on a ladder. And white is going to try to play a ladder breaker. The idea is that if black just, AFKs, doesn't do anything, then this ladder is necessary for black, because otherwise, if he can't capture these stones, it's a snapback and he's going to die. So Huang Longshi is like, okay, now I have some Aji to start over there. So if I get some stones here and I can save the cutting stone eventually, then I might be able to capture those stones. That means I have some like power in this area, which means I should be able to save a group on the right side. So he attaches in here and he's like, I'm going to save a group on the right side. I'm going to use this Aji in order to get myself some more strength. And Zhu Xingyu just descends. So he says, okay, you want to save on the right side? Get restricted as much as possible and whatever. But Huang Longshi is happy to see that because he can Hane and he can start aiming towards this sort of empty space. Zhu Xingyu is happy to see that because he can cut. And objectively, honestly, Zhu Xingyu has the right of it here. This cut is going to be strong. There's no actual justification for black being, for white being able to save on the left center here. Obviously, the left center is very strong. It's a wishful plan by Huang Longshi that he can regain his handicap stones. Is the immense benefit that black has already. Huang Longshi wants to do this fight that's a little too hard, a little too impossible, and if Zhu Xingyu just doesn't restrict himself, if Zhu Xingyu just plays freely and never encounters any problems or anything, then he will just gain in this fight. So Huang Longshi wants to make something happen. He plays this Hane and this extend, and yeah, he really, really wants something to happen here. He plays this Atari. And I mean, Zhu Xingyu must be feeling very confident right now because the ladder stuff doesn't work. Black has some stones prepared, and white is just sort of flailing by himself. Black is so strong on the left side already. And white plays here. And so Zhu Xingyu is like, all right, fine, I can just jump. I can just restrict you. And you got nothing. But he took his eyes off the ball. White extends. This is the weapon the whole time. Huang Longshi played this move as like a psychological attack. Hey, you want to let me live in your corner? Obviously, black should have let that happen instead of getting shattered. The question is, will this shatter him? Black didn't realize that it would. When it comes like this, black suddenly gives up, white plays like that, and plays away. What happened now? Unbelievably, black has the left side. Hooray, all that is his. He still has his corners. Hooray. White has captured everything there, all the way down to the side. And he's strong. He has his routes into the center. Even this black group, it has to run. The game is already close. Huang Longshi already almost managed to come back entirely. Well, what the heck happened? Why couldn't black save when he thought he was going to? Well, if black would have continued this push through with Atari here, unfortunately for white, or for black, white has enough liberties due to this turn exchange for jump. And furthermore, if black takes some time to come over here, you can't eat that stone easily either. So black couldn't save his stones. The snapback actually happened. Like the full Aji actually happened with just this much preparation. Huang Hongshou was obviously reading for this kind of stuff when he played this turn. And he was obviously thinking like this is going to be the point of his plan. If black would have just played here, black would have been winning so much, even if white can do something like this or whatever, and manage to save his stones at best. It's so different whether black here is strong and then emanating strength and trying to make it so that all the left side here can be black's area versus the game. I mean, here, even these white stones on the right side, they are not strong. They may have to run someday, right? So it's such a huge difference. It's so much more important than the corner. Black simply forgot to pay attention. And Huang Hongshou punished him. He showed this turn, exchange, and play here. Black, I think when he pushes here, it's sort of like a sadness move. He's like, oh, I didn't realize. And yeah, I mean, this game, this should be Huang Hongshou's final masterpiece, right? This should be so winnable from here, since the game is already close, and we're only on move like 75. He just has to parry some attacks, continue to press, win the endgame. So he answers his top side here. He forces black down to the second line. He plays this peep, making sure he's safe. And he plays some presses over here, forces black to answer a few times. Plays a cut, plays an extend. Black tries to capture this. Black will still try to press. Zhu Jingyu, as you've seen so far in these games, he doesn't give up just because he loses his handicap lead. He still tries to fight as hard as he can. But white plays this 3-3. And Huang Hongshou understood this better than Zhu Jingyu. Zhu Jingyu thought it was acceptable to get like some stones right next to each other like this. This is super unacceptable because black has no territory for his stones, and he can even still be under attack. I think Zhu Jingyu thought that these exchanges were like pleasant, but this is super unpleasant to have to spend even yet another move there. And you can see white actually has taken a base with his group on the right side for free, because black had to answer. White got all the territory, black answered, got nothing, and white even got a base. So white continues. White presses, and white is leading. I mean, at this point, white is already leading. But it's never that easy, is it? And attach that white had to answer, make sure to connect, okay, normal. And white has his route into the center, and white is attacking, so like currently, these black stones still are under pressure that they need to run because white has all the pressure from here and here. All those stones are strong. And white only has to run with his one group over here and make sure that he fixes his shapes. And black is harassing that cut. This is always an annoying move, even at a very, very high level. Even for like the top pros today, they often will make mistakes when someone hits the vital point like this. It's just very difficult to control because you're not supposed to connect. You're not supposed to connect. Connecting is too many empty triangles, so you're supposed to not connect. What do you do if you don't connect? Well, the answer changes based on the board position. It depends on what you're going to do just in general throughout the rest of the game. And whatever you do, it has to be kind of high intensity to match the intensity of this move, looking for the cut. So white tries to attach here. And Huang Hongshou is going to try to play a sort of outside sequence with respect to that cut. But then he realizes, like, well, I don't really want to have to answer this cut eventually, so maybe I should cut like this. So I'm going to force black to have to save that cutting stone. And then Zhu Jingyu just goes like, no, I'm not going to save that cutting stone. He targets here. And Huang Hongshou plays here. This move is unreal. I can't believe it. Because it's horrible. This is so pointlessly stable. I've never seen Huang Hongshou play a move like this in any of the previous games. I don't know what was happening. But something happened. Somehow Huang Hongshou didn't just connect here. He knew that this was bad. The reason why that this is bad is quite simple. Black can just sacrifice. And oh, it's so painful. Look at the left side here. Black can squeeze this whole side in Sente. So even if you try to do some cut like this, oh no, oh no, this can happen. And black wouldn't even exchange this because later he can attempt to even kill by pushing and cutting on this side. So he would jump here, in fact, and oh no, that's not possible. And then if you're not going to cut there, what are you going to do? You're going to cut on this side and play here, and then oh no, we only get like 2-3 points, and black gets the perfect strength. It's unreal, right? We can't do that. The problem was the cut. It was the attach and cut. After that, White had to be like, okay, I accept you got this great shape on the outside. Move on. But before that, if White would have just given up these 2 stones, it would have been so much better, actually. And you can give up in all sorts of ways. You can just play jump here if you want. You can play from the outside entirely like this, make sure that black can't play from the outside. And you can even just start attacking these stones on the bottom side directly. There's a few ways to do things. You can even Hane here. Yeah, this kind of move is not that stupid. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it's not that stupid. Not as stupid as Huang Hongxue did. This attach and crosscut and here and here. Oh god, I can't look. And after black captures, oh, connect again. Oh no. Oh god. No, even still, it's probably better to not connect and play some fight outside. But Huang Hongxue is in sort of defensive mood, fix things mood, because he found a variation. He's like, oh no, I have to fall back, I have to not lose the game on the spot, let me be stable, let me be cautious here. But he lost so much just now. He was leading just before this. If he would have just given up those 2 stones and not cared about them so much, this game, he was already winning. Even though it was 3 stones handicap and no komi, he was already winning. But now, he has to save his topside group. And black has the pressure. Black is even attacking it with a Panuki. How did that happen? Oh no. Well, the game continues. Huang Hongxue takes care of his group relatively reasonably. He started actively counter-striking against the black shape in the center there. Just capture there is the correct way to handle things. And then he plays this attach. And we're getting back to real Huang Hongxue stuff. Like this is the character that I came to see. This attach, it means there's a trick if black would push through. Then I think it's that there's going to be this move. Bear with me. Here, and then this way. This Atari is very, very painful. So after this, then you could Atari here first, which would then allow this capture to happen. And even White could try to play more aggressively than that. But probably not good. I don't know. It's kind of interesting as well to play like this and push, because you could have Atari, and push here. And this can be effective too, since obviously the main target is these black stones on the bottom. Anyway, black just decides to defend like this. This is very reasonable. Make sure that you're connected and that you can save your stones on the bottom side there with the eye space. And I could then harass with this tiger's mouth, force black to connect again. Makes sense. Play this peep. Yeah, this is a good move by Huang Hongxue. He knew that he was just in time to fix his group on the left side. This attaching shenaniganry that he was asking for was looking for ways to save his group on the left side without just taking this small area on the left. And eventually, after he forced back to answer a couple times, he gained a bit, got some power against the black top, and came back to connect. And we're seeing some more classic Huang Hongxue material. And black plays this jump, and Huang Hongxue plays attach. Very sharp. After black Hane's on top, saying, what's the plan here? There's a crosscut. Black pulls back, and there's Atari here. And this is quite annoying for black, because he has to link up. He has to play this Atari, allow White to capture a stone, and even after this, there's still going to be cuts. So Huang Hongxue has managed to properly secure some territory in the left center here, basically in Sente, as he is making some cut threats at the same time. It's a very good sequence for Huang Hongxue there, and he makes this cut as well, with the intention of just grabbing Sente from this, because he has Atari. And black is like, well, I mean, I won't let you do that easily. I'm going to try to fight the ko. And White plays this move as his ko-threat. I think it's a really interesting ko-threat, Because black can answer locally, like this. It looks like he gained, but when white comes back, you can see the Ataris still exist. So black chose to do this one to fix the Ataris, but still, that means that white got away with Sente after the cut, and even increased potential to mess around in the black upper left corner later, so maybe some more co-threats over there. But for now, he's just going to leave that and play away, and he plays this S18 move. He's trying to be so sharp. He wants to win the game back. He probably upset with how that topside has gone, but overall believing he still has a good chance in this game, which he absolutely does. I mean, the game is close still. I mean, black is a little bit ahead, but not very, very much. He's going to try to fight. Zhu Jingyu is going to try to fight as well. This knight's move, really good move. Not allowing Huang Lingshi to just roll out his plan of, oh, I'm going to take your vital point, I'm going to surround you, and then you're going to have to answer inside somehow. But force Huang Lingshi to have to do something of his own, block here, and then be satisfied, oh, I got a bigger potential space. So now, even though you can do the same move that you were planning before, now when I block, I'm threatening to capture a stone. This exchange at S13, very, very helpful for black. White just tanukis. White says, all right, I'm going to capture some stuff in the center. This is more and more territory for white. What are you going to do? And black jumps to the left side. And honestly, that was really big. Maybe Huang Lingshi should have played there instead of in the center. But he thought, if black jumps to the left side, I can block here and I can save myself anyway. Zhu Jingyu had a really nice plan here, actually. Really nice. He played first the peep. That's a good exchange to get in. The hane. White should tiger to make sure that he has the best shape, but he has to accept this hane, so that's a little bit of endgame gain for black already. And then black connected here. And this is actually a really nice trick. What do I mean? Well, Huang Lingshi played here, it was the losing move. This move was bad. I couldn't believe it, because when I was just looking through the game, I was like, wait, what happened? Oh, wow. That was problematic? This is problematic. Because black played Atari and pulled out like this. And what that did is it forced white to come back and capture and allowed black to get this cut in Sente as an Atari. That cut as an Atari means that black has significantly increased control over the right side, and he's pushed all the way through into the bottom side of white, and at the same time as he's doing this, white's Atari, don't forget, it gave black this stone at Q16. That's more I-shape for black as well, so he doesn't have to worry about any life and death issues or any endgame issues with his cuts or anything. It was fantastic by Zhu Jingyu. And he goes back to fight the Ko. And from here is Zhu Jingyu's flow. What was Huang Lingshi supposed to do? How could block be a mistake? Well, he had to cover that Atari. He had to cover his cuts like that. He had to play here. And the idea of playing here is that black still can't attack your group on the right side that badly. It's going to be fine. And when you play like this, later on, you have some serious potential to do stuff against the black corner later. So if you push and cut here, for example, black can try to capture your stones, and he can succeed to capture your stones. But that doesn't mean he's alive. This black is locally dead, for example. So by playing this move, there's many more tricks and resources that Huang Lingshi would have, let alone his territory on the bottom, but even just against the black group and with his own group on the right side, black is sort of pushing through in that variation. But in this variation, black has an Atari and Sente, so that's even worse. Black exchanged that on the top side and then played this Ko. He was thinking that that would make the Ko bigger. I think it was just an early Ko threat, not really necessary. Huang should just use this move as a Ko threat now, sort of giving up on that area. Black took the Atari as his Ko threat. And yeah, I don't know why he played that Atari first. This game record may be slightly incorrect, or maybe Zhu Jingyu is just not that sharp. Sometimes that happens. Huang Lingshi tried to fight back. He tried to make some cuts in the black center here, but he couldn't commit to them because he was too weak on the right side. So he had to jump and save his group on the right, and black used that timing to fix his cuts in the center and take some actual potential center territory. Black, however, did allow white to push on the side, which is quite nice as it gives white some potential area there. White used a co-threat in the upper right. And that was sort of an extended co-threat that makes the fight a little harder. And black eventually realized, okay, now this is getting too hard for me to continue. Let me just fall back. And white actually managed to block again in Sente. And somehow, I think it was like black's faulty response on the left side here. Somehow, if black tried to fight that ko and got nothing, and Gote. Well done, Hongxue. It keeps happening. But black didn't lose that much because black got to take some control on the right side at the same time. They managed to save those stones. White decided to link up underneath. This is quite a high value move, but black could continue to play in the center. And this game is just going to go to endgame here with black having so much center territory. Look at how much is just surrounded there. The game ends just here. At least the game record ends. Probably the game continued to go. Finally, black won. And Zhu Jingyu won the series. The games of Blood and Tears, 7-3. So Huang Hongxue couldn't quite give Zhu Jingyu 3 stones after all. It was a little bit too hard. But it was so close. So close. And if Huang Hongxue would just have acted like himself, if he didn't do that crazy stuff in the upper left here, absolutely insane that, I mean, look, white played there. Why? Why did white play there? Oh, no. I have a few stories to tell to end this, because it's important that you walk away from this not just knowing the games of Blood and Tears, but why they're called the games of Blood and Tears. There's a few potentially made up stories from history, from back then. There's one that was that Zhu Jingyu and Huang Hongxue. Well, first of all, Huang Hongxue was understood to be a guy who was not that interested in politicking and material wealth, more interested in Go. And so Zhu Jingyu was in the class of the officials, of the politicians, and he was a bit craftier in real life, not on the Go board, but in real life at least. And so there's a story that they had gone before the emperor, Gaozhong. And the day before they went before the emperor, Zhu Jingyu told Huang Hongxue, you know, your Go is better. Everyone knows that you can beat me. Why don't you make it a bit more exciting, spice it up, and give the emperor a show, and let me win by half a point. Exactly half a point. And Huang Hongxue was like, okay, sure, that sounds fun. I'll try to control the game and let you win by exactly half a point. They went the next day. The emperor showed them this box. He said, okay, whoever wins this game gets the contents of this box. But Huang Hongxue was committed. He was like, all right, that box, how cool can it be? Probably just some bubble. I'm going to go play the game. And he lost by half a point to Zhu Jingyu. And then the emperor said, your Go is better than his, but how is it that your luck is just not as good? And then he ordered an attendant to open the box, and it was a document of appointment to a prefectural governorship, which he gave to Zhu Jingyu. So to become a prefectural governor is like a big thing. And Huang Hongxue is just flabbergasted. The reason in the story being that Zhu Jingyu had heard from his official friends what the reward is going to be, and asked Huang Hongxue craftily to lose the game just so that he could get it. Just this once. That story is likely untrue. It's likely untrue because the emperor named in the story was not alive when these two were alive, so it probably was not actually what happened. But who knows? It could have been. The documents that we have from the 1600s are not that well written, or not that well recorded. We don't have all of that much data. What we do have some data for is that at the time, shortly after this game, the 10 Games of Blood and Tears, Huang Longshi died. He passed away. And it was probably just before he was 40, or somewhere around there. There's a story in the biographies from the time that Zhu Jingyu contrived Huang Longshi's death. That Zhu Jingyu conspired to kill him. So at the time, the rumor was that Zhu Jingyu had killed Huang Longshi. Huang Longshi died after these games, and Zhu Jingyu was the murderer. I don't believe it. Because, first of all, Zhu Jingyu plays with respect to Huang Longshi. So just by watching the go, I feel that Zhu Jingyu believes Huang Longshi is a good player. And second of all, the other evidence, what Zhu Jingyu said in his own writings and that sort of stuff, doesn't lend any credence to this rumor. And thirdly, the rumor is quite silly. Particularly the method to which Zhu Jingyu is supposed to have murdered Huang Longshi. They say, Zhu contrived Huang's death by seducing him with rich wine and beautiful women. At the beginning, he could cope, but as the days increased, it was difficult for him to stay on top, and eventually he died of a stroke. Now, entirely possible that Huang Longshi died of a stroke. Very unlikely that the cause was the rich wine and the beautiful woman, in my opinion. However, this was the rumor. And this is why the games are called the Games of Blood and Tears. It's not just about the fact that this was Huang Longshi's last masterpiece, Huang Longshi's last show to the world. This is how you can defeat a player who would become Guosho shortly after this, actually. Zhu Jingyu was not actually much worse than the best other players at the time by the end of the series. As you can see, he beat Huang Longshi after being behind, right? I mean, that's really good. It's not just about that. It's about the rumor that Zhu Jingyu slayed Huang Longshi at the very end. Is wild. What do you have to gain? He already won the series. Why do you gotta kill him? However, it actually happened. The truth is, of course, that Huang Longshi's death is very unfortunate. He was such a strong player, and in those times, you got stronger as you aged. These days, the strongest players are around 20, and you get or 25, and you get weaker as you get older. But back then, most of the very best games were played by players nearing 60 or something, because they would get more experience, understand the opening better, play better. And the sharpness that you need in the modern day sort of AI-inspired games it was less rigorous back then. Anyway. A terrible shame that this ended Huang Longshi's life on a game which he threw in the most unbecoming of ways. But a wonderful legacy, the whole series. I mean, the tricks that he pulled in the bottom left in this game, and the tricks that he pulled throughout the other games to win on 3 stones against someone who would shortly become the best player in all of China. I'm very happy to have commented these games for all of you. I hope that you enjoyed, and hope that you stick around to catch some other series, some other old games, some other new games, some other my games. See you later.